You ever wonder what happens when someone leaves the country for a business trip, comes back, then does it again 5 more times in 1 year? Immigration lawyers call this the multiple entries problem, and it turns your travel history into a math homework assignment nobody asked for. Picture your passport stamps like a video game score counter, except instead of points, you are racking up days that count toward or against your immigration status. Every entry and exit gets logged, and the government adds up the total time you spent inside the country, not just whether you are currently standing on American soil right now. Here is the twist most people miss. Authorized stay is not the same thing as just being present, because you can be physically here while your paperwork says your permission expired 2 weeks ago. That gap between your body being here and your paperwork being valid is called unlawful presence, and it starts ticking the moment your authorized period ends, even if you have not noticed yet. It is like a parking meter that keeps charging you even after you thought you fed it enough quarters. Now throw multiple entries into that mess. Say you enter on a tourist visa, leave, come back on a student visa, leave again, then return on a work visa, and each of those periods has its own start date, its own authorized end date, and its own rules about what you were allowed to do while you were here. Lawyers have to stack these periods like a game of Tetris, except the blocks are different shapes, sizes, and legal categories, and if they misalign, the whole line collapses into a wall of problems for their client. One overlapping day miscounted can shift someone from being fine to accidentally accruing unlawful presence, which sounds dramatic because it actually is dramatic. Status changes make this even spicier. If you switch from a student visa to a work visa without leaving the country, your authorized stay clock does not just reset to 0 like a video game respawn. It depends entirely on whether that change was approved before your old status expired. Approved in time, you are golden, no gap, no accrual. Approved late, even by a single day, and suddenly there is a crack in the timeline where unlawful presence can sneak in like an uninvited party guest who eats all your snacks. This is why immigration lawyers do not just glance at your documents, they build what is basically a forensic timeline, cross-referencing entry stamps, visa expiration dates, and application filing dates like detectives solving a very boring but very important crime. Miss one overlap and the client could face bars from re-entering the country for 3 years or 10 years, depending on how much unlawful presence piled up. Let's clear up a common misunderstanding here, because a lot of people think any overstay automatically means instant deportation the next day. That is not how it works. The accrual has to hit certain thresholds, usually more than 180 days or more than 1 year, before the harsher penalties kick in. So why does any of this matter to you, the regular person just trying to live your life? Because immigration status is not a light switch that is simply on or off. It is more like a thermostat with a dozen different settings, and one wrong adjustment years ago can still affect the temperature of your life today. The optimistic part is that good lawyers exist specifically to prevent this timeline chaos before it becomes a crisis, mapping out every entry, exit, and status change like they are building a spreadsheet version of your life story. The doubt creeps in when people wait too long to get help, assuming their situation is simple when in reality it has more moving parts than a 1985 Rubik's Cube. The lesson here is not to panic, it is to keep records, because your own memory of when you entered, left, and switched statuses is way less reliable than an actual paper trail. Preparation beats panic every single time, and that goes for immigration paperwork just as much as it goes for pop quizzes you did not study for. At the end of the day, accrual calculations are just the government's way of asking, were you actually allowed to be here during this exact window of time? Getting that answer wrong by accident can cost years of your life untangling it, which is exactly why having someone who tracks this stuff for a living matters more than people realize. If you want to learn more about how our company helps sort through all of this, check out our links in the description.